Okay, thank you. Welcome, Daphne. Welcome. I'm not like Willis, so I'm not going to say who are you. So that's okay. So thank you for coming all the way here because you're not based in Singapore. Where are you based?
I'm based in Hong Kong, and it's very exciting to be here. And I love to meet with entrepreneurs. I can feel this place is full of energy and creativity and innovations, and smell of money. I know a lot of investors are here, and I envy you. Actually, I think I believe that the happiest job in the world is to have someone believe in you and give you the money to realize your dream. So congratulations, you will be a star.
Right, thank you. And well, Alibaba has plenty of money because Alibaba,
Don't
of
nervous.
course.
Don't nervous.
Oh, sure. Thank
Yeah.
you. Anyway, Alibaba has plenty of money because they run Taobao, of course.
Yes.
And basically, Taobao is online shopping for people in China.
Yes.
Because that's the first site. They beat eBay. They're famous for beating eBay in China. Any more numbers? Any more background on Taobao?
Okay. Taobao is actually a marketplace for Chinese, and also we plan to expand our ecosystem to outside of Mainland China. Currently, there are over 7 million sellers selling 800 million products on Taobao, and we try to have more international and overseas users to enjoy the benefits of Taobao.
And that means because you are based in Hong Kong, but you're from Taiwan, and those two countries you are concentrating on for overseas expansion.
Yes, and because Taobao is a Chinese platform, as you know, many of you know, and so we start the global expansion from the overseas markets like Hong Kong and Taiwan. And actually, we have a lot of registered users from Southeast Asia region already. And since last year, we found more and more people are buying from Taobao. In Singapore, in Malaysia, and other countries in Southeast Asia.
So that's happened naturally. You've not marketed. You've not made an English site for Taobao.
I believe a lot of e-commerce company or say internet company, the major growth is driven by users and usage instead of open office or branch out of the country. So we are lucky. Our users move faster than we do for the past years. So we would like to do more for those early adopters, and they believe in our platform and they already buy from our platform. And although our service or people are not here yet.
And of course, we should explain Taobao is consumer-to-consumer selling. So you're a platform, you don't buy anything. You have merchants, and people buy from these merchants.
Yeah, we have individual sellers, and also we have small business sellers and some merchants. And we have a Tmall.com. Tmall is more like a shopping mall. And Taobao and Tmall actually share a same user base with single sign-on. So all the registered users of Taobao can buy from Tmall as well. So we found a lot of purchase from Tmall merchants as well.
Okay. So you said this has happened naturally. How many users do you have now in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, anywhere else?
Yeah, we have a large base in Hong Kong because Hong Kong is very nearby Mainland China. As of the end of last year, we have 1.4 million registered users in Hong Kong. Compared to the total population is only 7 million, and so the penetration of the internet users is already around 30%. So 3 of the 10 Hong Kongers internet users ever shop in Taobao. And we found a lot of growth in Southeast Asia as well. And nowadays in Taiwan, it's still the early stage of adoption. We have over 600,000 registered users. We have near 1 million from Southeast Asia. So we think this region is more promising.
Okay, that's good. And in Singapore, especially, individually, how many here?
Singapore?
Yeah.
Singapore, we have 280,000. Okay. 280,000.
I see. Those are individual users. How about merchants? Are there any Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan merchants on the site?
It's getting more. And there's some big names of Hong Kong sellers already opened up Tmall shop on Tmall shop. And for example, large merchants like Hong Kong Sasa, and also international sellers like even Microsoft opened a Tmall store. And in Singapore, once in Singapore, I think there's a fashionable shoes brand called Charles & Keith. They have the flagship store on Tmall.com.
Okay, so this seems like for the first time Alibaba is taking on Rakuten for the first time, because Tmall is like Rakuten, isn't it?
Like, pardon me?
The Japanese company Rakuten.
Oh, Rakuten.
Yeah. It's like business to
consumer. Yeah, it's similar as a shopping mall, and so for any merchants, you can open a store on that shopping mall. Yes.
Okay, so that's good. We're seeing a new global battle between this company, Alibaba, and Rakuten for the first time.
And I don't know how to comment Rakuten. It's a big player.
Sure. I think a lot of people are interested in Chinese companies moving and expanding overseas because it doesn't happen too often, really. I know Alibaba has done before with Alibaba.com, whereby...
I think it's still early stage of global expansion for Taobao and or other Chinese internet companies. Because Japan, I think e-commerce start growing. The e-commerce in Japan is only 10 years, probably 8 or 10 years earlier than in China. So we are catching up. Yeah. I think they probably enjoy early move, first move advantage, but however, we'll focus on the user experience, and if we have happy customers, and customer will love to shop on our platform.
Are you going to do more things to localize for these users in Southeast Asia, like English site? And how about payments as well?
Certainly, we will look at to provide more local services to the local consumers. We have a plan to work with local players, local service providers. We'll focus on the infrastructure first. Those payment to provide more payment methods, local payment methods, and also we would like to streamline the logistic services. Currently, we have a very advanced tracking system within China, and we want to work with the international shipping service providers to really provide the end-to-end tracking information online for those like Singapore or South Asia consumers.
Okay. So Alibaba has Alipay for e-payments.
Yes.
But that's not part of this expansion? Or?
I think that's part of the expansion because Alipay currently handle the transaction processing for Taobao, and we do Alipay already help us to facilitate the international credit card acceptance, which means all the overseas users, you can use your international Visa, Master, and JCB cards to shop on Taobao and to pay all the transactions of Taobao. And next stage, Alipay will work with us to cooperate with other local payment service providers, just like several banks and some financial institutes, and to provide more payment options.
Any local partners you can mention?
Yep, I can. You mean in Singapore?
In this area or just in Singapore? Yeah.
Yeah, there is several partners we are talking. We are talking on. We are working in progress, and for example, I can only reveal one. Is we work with the DBS. Singapore, and I can make an ask here because this month, just right in this in April, this month we work with the Singapore DBS to have the merchant offer, and we offer we call spring shopping reward. So every transaction on Taobao paid by for DBS credit card holders, you can every transaction. More than 50 renminbi, which means 10 Sing dollars, you can get a reward of 10 Sing dollars.
Okay.
That's good. So enjoy shopping. You can go Taobao if you have you have interesting to shop from China or across region.
So you've mentioned there are over 1 million users in Southeast Asia.
Yes.
Right now. Are there any goals for the end of this year or next year?
You mean?
For numbers.
For numbers, that's by end of last year. Those numbers.
Okay. Any future numbers you can imagine?
Any future numbers? I believe we will enjoy even faster growing. The year ahead, so I think it's very difficult to to say the future numbers, but we will expect a lot of. It's even more people will buy from Taobao, and if we can have more local services like I mentioned. The DBS cooperation is only marketing offering, but we do have some advice services on the roadmap. So when we can roll out more services to the local consumers, if they are happy, I think the sales amount or the users will getting even more.
Maybe you need more local merchants. And then the prices will be more competitive, so you're not shipping from China all the time.
Actually, we do two ways. The merchant we have, or the seller we have on Taobao or Tmall, already we have some international merchants, just just as I mentioned, and also I noticed that there's more and more SMBs in Singapore or Southeast Asia regions participate into e-commerce, and I saw the news on some data from PayPal. They say but last year they got 1.5 million new open accounts in Southeast Asia region. So I believe the more people or small business participate into the e-commerce industry, the e-commerce industry will growing even faster.
Okay. I know that Alibaba does like to reveal numbers, which is good. I believe there was, in the first 11 months of 2012, there was $160 billion in sales revenue
within one
Taobao,
single day.
Yeah, oh, that was the whole year. Taobao and
Oh,
Tmall.
Taobao and Tmall is a one. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a 1 trillion. It's a 1 trillion renminbi.
Yeah, good. Yeah, 1 trillion renminbi, which is 160 billion.
Okay.
So that was good. That was for the whole operation. Do you have any sales revenues numbers for outside of China? That would be interesting too.
That's confidential.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Don't show me the top questions.
Sure.
And because it's still early stage, I think the numbers for the international sales is not it's not the point. And we will focus more on the user experience because from the past years, we just had the dedicated team for Taobao International from last year. So we start doing things for overseas users from last year. So I think there's still competitively very small amounts from overseas users, but we can expect it's very important for us to invest some local services, the local services for overseas users. That's very important for the company and for the whole ecosystem. We want to expand our ecosystem. It's not just increase sales to the overseas consumers. Yeah.
Okay. So it seems that in Southeast Asia, people like to have set up blog shops. That's a good way for regular people to sell to regular people. But Taobao is different to blog shops. It's different to Facebook shops. So do you think people around in this area are ready for Taobao?
I noticed that. I noticed there is a lot of social activities on e-commerce industry in the region, and I think that's a very good thing. So that means people because all commerce come from word of mouth. The trust come from word of mouth. So people will love to buy from their networks, or people will listen to others' advice. So people are doing now on internet, and that means they have a demand on internet about e-commerce. So we are happy that those social activities and people will have more diverse channels to search, to do comparison, and to shop online. And I think that's a very good.
So does Taobao need to be more social?
Yeah, we do have forum, but in Chinese. I'm sorry.
Okay, I see.
I can translate for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we have a forum, and we encourage communicate over our platform. So we have instant messenger tools for buyer and sellers. We have transparent and open platform.
Okay. Would it be a good idea for Alibaba to launch the Tmall in Southeast Asia rather than Taobao? Maybe now's the time for brands want a virtual marketplace. So how about that instead?
There's no there's no launch time because you can already open a shop on Tmall anytime for international merchants, and people can now a consumer can buy from Tmall already, and with just a simple registration process and get an account, and you can pay by your international Visa Master. So we are already here for Taobao and also for Tmall.
Okay, but only in Chinese.
Yeah, but only in Chinese. We don't have any plan to launch a Chinese English website yet. You see, it's a big challenge for us to really bring out all the sellers who can come better serve foreign language speakers.
Okay. So that means no initial plans for Taobao in Thailand or Indonesia?
We will see.
Okay.
Anything is possible, but currently we have our own challenges. So we need to work with our partners to focus on the infrastructure first and the service first. And nowadays we have a dedicated service line for overseas users. The sales representative can speak Cantonese to the Hong Kongers, and also they can speak in English, so they can communicate in English. But later on we will probably consider an English website, but not this year because we're better to serve overseas Chinese community now, and then get more experience how to serve better to the Western.
Okay, so not this year. Okay.
Not this year.
Maybe
sorry.
because Alibaba is too busy preparing for the IPO this year.
No.
Okay. Who knows?
No. No. No, it's not the resource.
Okay, sorry, it's worth trying.
You know my official answer, so there's no
true.
comment.
That's true. But so Alibaba, some people say, some analysts believe, is preparing for a huge IPO for the whole group this year, which would be interesting. That would be, how much is Alibaba worth? Okay. No. Okay. I think. Okay. I think the last fundraising for buying back the Yahoo stake, that valued it at $40 billion. So that's huge.
That's however, any numbers are huge. And that I'm not in a position to
okay.
to comment on this, but my job is to really focus on users and how to bring the ecosystem outside of China, mainland China. That's very important as well.
Okay. Okay. So these days
that will increase the value of the company.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. No, okay. So I know the founder, Jack Ma, is very popular because he talks very openly and frankly. Mm-hmm. So he's an interesting person to listen to. Do you know what he thinks about global expansion for Alibaba?
Actually, Alibaba Group, we have Alibaba.com is a friendship company of Alibaba Group. And Alibaba.com is already is an international website from day one. So we have we already involved into the global marketplaces from day one. Back to 13 years ago, it's 1999. And on Alibaba.com, we have a lot of overseas buyers from over 240 countries. And so I think Jack, or our company, I should say our company, I'm not Jack, I'm sorry. And our company already involved some international, building some international blocks on the company, and we will still go. We're still trying to put more resources and to bring more benefits and to the overseas markets. Yeah.
So yeah, that's true. Alibaba.com is huge for international sourcing.
It's a B2B marketplace.
Yeah. So B2B is interesting, and that's a huge sector.
Yes.
But I think people also are more curious about consumer-oriented products as well.
Mm. And there's another English website. It's called AliExpress.com, and this is a transactional platform in English. And if you can try AliExpress.com, you can find a lot of product listing already there, and you can shop from AliExpress.com. Yeah. So we have several channels and to provide the e-commerce system platforms to overseas.
Is there some confusion between AliExpress and Taobao for where people can go to buy things from Chinese merchants?
I think different platforms, but you have more choices, and it's optional for buyers. Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking. Actually, I've got a few questions from people on Twitter. Which was interesting. Also, some readers of techinasia.com. D from CNBC. She asked, "When's the IPO?" Okay, we can't ask.
Sorry.
Hong Kong or New York? I guess nobody knows right now. No. Okay. Okay.
No.
Never mind. That's good. Okay. Okay. No worries. I think what another reader would like to ask, David Perez, is: are there any examples of foreign entrepreneurs using your platforms, Taobao or anything, to do business in mainland China or anywhere else?
Taobao is an ecosystem and open platform. We have an open APIs for those independent developers and companies. So there are a lot of independent developers or companies already use Taobao API. It's I think over 6,000. We call Taobao partners. I use open API to develop some services on the platform and to and serve other the players of ecosystem. Yeah, and foreign companies. Foreign companies can use as well. Yes, there's no problem. And I think the major thing is how is what kind of value you provided to sellers or buyers. We have some Taobao partners provide ERP system to help those sellers to better manage their inventory and also all the selling process data. And we have some people focus on training the customer services, the online customer services tools. They develop some tools for the online customer services, and also for Taobao buyers, there's some independent developers provide some comparison shopping tool. Then the buyers can use those tool apps to really compare, to do the better search and compare and do the recommendations from their community. So there's a lot of applications people use our open API to develop. So I think there's no limit to China or to Chinese company or foreign companies.
I see. Okay, thank you. Another reader, Fons in Switzerland, asks, how about logistics?
Logistics.
For when you're expanding, like logistics in Hong Kong and Taiwan and Singapore, how does that work?
We are lucky because logistics services is getting easier for the cross-border. Is also the technology is more advanced than before for the cross-border shipping, and so we would not involve. We don't have truck. We don't have cars within our company, but we work with the logistics service providers. Nowadays, we just say that we have a very good established tracking system. So when you buy things from Taobao, you can see all the tracking informations on Taobao platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody in Singapore decides to buy something this evening on Taobao, it can be delivered from China, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No problem.
No problem physically, but nowadays we want to work better on, because nowadays we have 7 million sellers on our platform. Some of them have the difficulty to, they don't have experience to ship their products to Singapore or even to US or UK. So they have their local partners who can also only handle the logistic within China. So we are now working with but physically, but in the real world, they actually can, those shipping networks can have the ability to ship all the things from China to other country outside of work. So we try to transparent all the shipping service or offerings and informations, and to that all our sellers know how to ship those products to their overseas consumers. That's some education and communication work
of your Chinese merchants.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just a couple more questions. How are you keen to work with startups or other partners in this area?
Yes, of course. Yes,
okay.
Of course.
Okay.
We have some open APIs, and we actually put some information on our Taobao website. There's a cater for those independent developers, and we do involve some strategic investment now.
Okay.
And if you think about any, I can drop me a line.
Okay. Okay, good. And people can talk to you now too. That's good.
Sure.
Okay. One last question. What's the next move we can see from Alibaba in this area?
In this area,
Yeah.
We will introduce more local services, of course, like payment services, logistics services, and we would do more business operation. That means we will have a marketing campaign and to push all the selective products and recommend sellers to the consumer. And also we would like to have more international merchants from this region to open a store on Tmall and Taobao. And of course we encourage more people involved into to be a Taobao partner, to use Taobao APIs, open APIs to develop some services for our buyers and sellers.
Okay, and you said marketing. Does that mean marketing on TV or online, or what's that?
Marketing campaigns, more communications. We want to actually that more people know about the value of Taobao.com and the benefit they can benefit from shopping from Taobao. And if we create more happy users, I think now they will recommend us to their friends. That's the trust comes from.
Okay, so lots of things happening, lots of Taobao, Alibaba things happening.
I believe so.
Around here.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so.
Okay, good. Well, Daphne Lee, thank you very much for coming
here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.